got Extreme Rules that happened last night, all right? And there's a lot, of course, the fallout from it. The response is great because of what happened after the main event that they completely shat on. This show was cool. I was satisfied with it. I didn't dislike it. I know some people thought that because I didn't care for Bray Wyatt and what they did with the whole thing that I didn't like the show. I liked the show. I just didn't care for that shit they did with Bray Wyatt. Um, the opening match with Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium, I thought they tore that shit down. I liked how this is going down between Sheamus and Gunther. Uh, with hopefully it ending at WrestleMania with Sheamus getting the one title that he's never had, which is the IC belt, which is kind of fucked up because I don't want an old guy like Sheamus. Well, he's not old, but he's not the younger talent. But if they're doing a story about him never having the IC title, I have no issue with that. So this is just me giving my thoughts on the whole thing. The Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan match was a fucking shit show. I was watching a bitch get hit with a fucking bat, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. All right, what the hell is going on here? And the whole fucking match was a goddamn fucking mess. Bayley versus Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, other than her fucking talking, is the fucking truth right now. And they're kind of giving her John Cena type booking with the way she's being so super strong. But she's a super strong chick. This sister's a fucking animal. And I don't say that in a derogatory way. I'm saying that with strength, ability, speed, agility. She's the fucking truth. Now, she carries herself to the ring awesomely, fabulously. I just can't stand the way she talks because she does a girlfriend. I don't like that shit. I've heard her do interviews. That's not how you talk, sis. And I don't know if that's her doing that or if the writer's telling her to do more of that or writing for her like that. But I don't like that shit.
You can't use that excuse now. No, this is Triple H's WWE. This is all Bianca. This is all her creative juices going. Can't do this anymore.
But they were done. It just doesn't come off well. No matter who's responsible for it, it just doesn't come off well for me. But the match in itself was pretty fucking awesome. There was some dangerous spots with those ladders where I got scared for Bianca over, especially when it came to when she did the KOD. She did the KOD and the ladder landed right on her ankles, but she seemed to be fine. Hopefully nothing came. I don't not seeing any stories about it, but that was where some of those spots was dangerous as far as when I was concerned. The I Quit match between Edge and
match of the night. Let's get it right. Match of the night.
I'm not giving that match of the night. I'm not giving that match of the night. Match of the night for me was the ladder match. But this shit right here, it was good. It was good. But it was predictable as fuck for me. For me, it was predictable as fuck. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew Dominic was going to get involved. I knew Rey Mysterio was going to come down. I knew fucking Beth Phoenix was going to get involved because they had this bitch, Rhea Ripley, there and whatnot. So it was like, for me, it was about execution. It's like, I know how it's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. But give me something where I'm like, show me how the story is, You had this guy coming out with his mask, Finn Balor coming out with his mask from this dude from the comic book. It escapes me right now, but it wasn't Kanye West inspired. I understand a lot of people are saying that, but it wasn't Kanye West inspired. But the right person went over, in my opinion. What I did not like about that match, what really pissed me off, if you give my wife a concerto in front of my fucking face, I'm bugging the fuck out. Edge didn't do that. Edge should have been like, no, I'm not saying fucking Darth Vader, no, but he should have screamed like I mentioned this to somebody on Facebook. If you ever go back and watch when Beulah McGillicuddy got a 3D, this was her last show for ECW. She got a 3D by the Dudley Boys.
Tommy Dreamer balled out.
That nigga fucking lost it, bro. That nigga, he was like, ah! And then when they go back and play the slow motion, you just see him go, ah! Like the effect of it was so fucking awesome.
But there was a difference because Tommy Dreamer was handcuffed to the ropes. Edge was being held. Now again, I will.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
made
defend it on
that's what would have made it. That's what should
I'm
have
gonna
made it
defend it on a
worse.
different scale. Again, emotions are different. I don't think you're gonna have a universal ball out. Everybody can be there. Edge could have just looked shocked. Edge could have been like, there is like that karma kind of feeling to it, track, if you don't understand what I'm trying to say. Like, remember,
Yeah.
there's years of the rated R superstar doing things that are so diabolical. And this is all karma hitting him back at him. So why would a man who did demented shit when he was the rated R superstar all of a sudden go ball out crying? It's almost like you
Because
deserve
that's
this.
your wife.
Oh, no.
That's your wife. He didn't
Go
even.
from a
The
different
shocking look wasn't even that good. His
I'm just
expression
saying.
after that was just not. It just. I'm sorry.
I get the family aspect. I get you on the family. I'm just going in a different plateau. I'm going on the karma aspect. He's done diabolical things. Remember, he beat the shit out of John Cena's father. He does some outlandish shit to remember, he cheated. He got Matt Hardy's girl, and he went about it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like he's done a lot of diabolical shit, and it's come back twofold. Even if he has the family, he could have had redemption and all that stuff, but there's like that lost, like the soul's taken out of you that you can't even cry. Like the soul's taken out of you. It's a different emotion.
I thought his reaction.
I'm not trying to convince you to. You are entitled to the way you feel like he should have balled out. I get you. I'm just trying to give it to us other hustleites out there. There's a different scale about this. I'm looking at it from a karma thing because it's a very different angle to look at it. Like, oh my God, I'm getting paid for all the shit I did. I never truly got paid for my sins. That's a pay for your sins kind of moment right there. And he started Judgment Day. So it's it's the karma. It's all karma.
All right, and then you have the Karrion Kross. I don't know if this was before or after. It doesn't even matter.
It was before. It was before.
It was before. Okay, but I didn't want to forget it. You had Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. I didn't really give a shit for this match. You know why? Because strap matches are just fucking awful. I hate strap matches. Never liked strap matches. Never will like strap matches. This shit just came off as homoerotic. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Okay, if you're a part of a certain community and you like what you saw, that's fine. But for me, I didn't care for it.
Maybe because Triple H is a historian fanatic, just like we are, like I am. He might have wanted with these two like characters here. Track, follow me here. Maybe he wanted to do a dog collar match, but it might have been too extreme, even for Peacock. Too extreme for the sponsors, so he had to keep it simple with the strap match because again, Triple H is a historian. If you had, but this feud needs to play out more to get to a dog collar match.
Oh yeah, it's not over. It's the feud is not over.
Right. Extreme Rules is so if this feud started, let's say in April, and we're right here right now in October, a dog collar match would have been perfect. But this kind of was a couple of weeks in. It's a filler after Clash at the Castle. It's gonna go on to Survivor Series and all that stuff. So this is I hate to say a strap match is a filler, but it's a filler. It's a filler for this.
No, it's a filler because the next match, if you look at how this match went down, right? Karrion Kross was not really trying to put the strap on. He was playing the mind games or whatever. But the key element here was the constant involvement of Scarlett. And so what's the next step to keep Scarlett out of this shit? If you're not going to ban her from ringside, you're going to put them in a cage. So if not Survivor Series, maybe a SmackDown or whatever, or maybe Crown Jewel. I don't know. They're gonna be in a cage. The next match between these two is a cage match. So I understand the prelude. I understand the filler. I just don't care for the type of match that they had. That particular gimmick match I've never been a fan of. The match itself, like I said, there was nothing really, and there was no what you call it either.
Yeah, that's NWA rules with the tapping on the corners.
NWA rules? Isn't that how Eddie Guerrero lost his title to JBL?
Again, Triple H is historian of everything.
But that's fine. Listen, I'm not saying they just blatantly ignored it. That's just the way they did it or whatever. It is what it is there. I just was shocked by it. Yeah. And then you had the main event. That shit was fucking garbage. That main event was garbage. It was trash. I'm like, yo, the first pit fight, that had nothing on the first fight that I saw on NXT. Nothing. And what the fuck did they even need Daniel Cormier for? For what? Because he was a UFC fighter, and so was Matt Riddle. But no, that shit was no. I didn't get anything from that
Daniel
match.
Daniel Cormier ate a lot of cheeseburgers after he retired because he looked fat as fuck.
That was another thing. There was all this speculation that it was going to lead up to a match with Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel. When I saw Daniel Cormier coming out with his gut that's way bigger than fucking mine, I got a beer belly, but god damn, that nigga, that motherfucker, like, yeah, he was eating, he was getting his double whoppers had cheese on it. You could tell, you could tell, you know, and bacon, but the match itself, the storytelling was bad. The psychology wasn't really all there. It was just like two niggas fighting in a cage. And the cage didn't really come into play like that. I mean, they did that shit up there or whatever, up on that top shit, which looked really ridiculous with all those flashy ass colors. That was stupid. But again, it was like, huh? And then it wasn't even that long. And then what happens? What happens? The match ends. The Fiend comes out. It was like, fuck this match. This match didn't even fuck. The match was filler for the Fiend coming out. The Fiend comes out. He doesn't attack Matt Riddle. He doesn't attack Seth Rollins. There's shots here. There's shots there of those stupid fucking animals in the crowd. The crowd loved it. I'm glad the crowd loved it. I didn't like it. I thought that shit was just like over dramatic, and it went on for too long. I didn't think it should have went on for that long. And like I said, they piped in those holy shit chants, even though there really was holy shit chants there. I don't know why they felt they had to do that. People are telling me that I'm wrong, but I'm telling you, I'm not fucking wrong. I heard this shit. All right? And it wasn't that I thought that made it whack. It was just the whole thing. They shitted on that main event. Like, you made me feel that this main event was going to be a big fucking deal, and that's what you did at the end to it? That's why I sent that shit from Trading Places. Like, it was a stone groove, Triple H. You are the most righteous. But yeah, just get the fuck out. The Fiend is coming. That's it. But I'm happy that the people who will most likely turn on this nigga a few months from now anyway, are happy to see him back. But these comparisons that it was more than CM Punk, no, stop.
Who's saying
it.
That? Hey, who's saying that?
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart. Trust me. I spent a good
why?
45 minutes today.
Okay, I get what you're saying. But why are we comparing a man who was out of the spotlight for 7 years to a man who was out for a year?
I don't know. But that's what these motherfuckers is doing. They're bringing AEW into this as if it's like, yo, what is it? Why? I mean, this is what happens when you have two federations. Trust me, the same shit would be happening if WCW was still around right now. All right, it'd be happening. It would probably be even worse because WCW was around, for so long. It goes back longer than AEW. But that's what these cats are doing. They're bringing AEW into this. I was talking with a friend last night. I'm like, dude, people stopped speculating whether the Fiend was going to come into AEW before Vince even left. But that's been the thing that, this is what's going on. The AEW fans are mad. They're crying today. Like, the AEW fans. The AEW, 1 million viewers for 5 straight weeks. I think they were over that shit a long time ago. But go into your thoughts on the pay-per-view, Q. Go ahead.
I don't have to say really anything. Sheamus has already said it for me for weeks. Banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. Then the Miz hit with the fight pit, and then another banger with Bray Wyatt. So a lot of bangers, one misstep, and then the banger at the end. So, again, Bray Wyatt, everybody expected it. I think the thing about Bray Wyatt was The only thing I saw mostly on social media was he going to come out during the Judgment Day match because of everything about the White Rabbit and the codes and stuff, because if it spelled out Demon X. So I was looking with the camera panning. I was like, oh, is he coming up from the ring up? But I said, why is he going to save Edge? And you talked about the Concerto and stuff. Like, why would he save Beth Phoenix from getting Concertos? So, there has to be some meaning. And again, Bray Wyatt is psychological. So was it, should he have come out during a match track? Would it have been better for you if he came out during a match? Or was this okay for him to come out just to close the show? I mean, it's debatable.
If he would have, listen, I get people might ask, well, why would he come out to do something to Seth Rollins or whatever? Remember him, Seth Rollins had that beef a long while ago, where Seth as a face was like a little bitch in the corner. So if he would have came out to fuck with Seth Rollins again, as Seth Rollins is a heel now, and you make Bray Wyatt the face or the tweener, I would have been cool with that. But that didn't happen. It was just, it was like I said, it was the way they treated that main event. I'm like, because I know for a fact. Now listen, since they brought AEW into this, I can make this comparison. Since people are saying AEW fans are crying because the Fiends came back to the WWE, another Vince reject, by the way, that Triple H is bringing back. Triple H bringing back all the Vince rejects, all these people who failed in the WWE. Triple H is giving them a second chance, but it's all good, right? Because it's Triple H. We know.
Mm-hmm. You said it right.
If AEW had booked a match that way, and they had the Fiend come out and shit on the younger talent's match, everybody would have been like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, they did that over dramatic shit and they just killed these fucking guys' main events. You would have heard all types of negative, unnecessary criticism or whatever. But no, it wouldn't have been unnecessary, because if AEW would have done that and gotten shit for it, they would have been well deserved. So all I'm saying is, from a booking standpoint, from a be the booker standpoint, that was just a bad move. At least have it just like the match ended. Here's Bray Wyatt, but now he didn't come out and attack anybody. So it's like, fuck this match already. It was just all about this. This whole thing was all about building up to Bray Wyatt, which one can look at Bray Wyatt and say, yes, they did that for him. This is how much of a big deal they want him to be. So, okay, I give you props for that. If that's the case, fine. And you better make sure you book this man the right way, and his matches better not be shit, because that's one thing I didn't like. His matches sucked, no matter what. And I'm not even counting I'm not talking the Goldberg match. I thought his match with Rollins sucked. I thought his match with Randy Orton sucked. I thought his feud with Orton sucked. I just was not into this guy. But from an analyst standpoint,
there was only one man that got Bray Wyatt over. That was John Cena. His match was epic.
Oh God. But from a standpoint for somebody who's analyzing this shit, all I want to see is good matches and good booking. Okay? I am to the point now, like a lot of people, where I'm satisfied with what I'm seeing on Raw. And no, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I have been, and you can go back and see it for yourself. I've been one of the people who just wanted the WWE to get better. That's it. I didn't want it to go away. I didn't want it to fold. I didn't want it to go out of business. I wanted the product to be better. All right? Even if it's by being booked by a guy I can't fucking stand. Even if it's being booked by a guy who's who's an egomaniacal windbag. I still want the product to be better. So far the product is being better. I'm still enjoying AEW shows more than I am Raw and SmackDown, but the product is getting better. Now, what they need to do, I don't give a fuck if this nigga has to whore out his wife. Cut Raw down to 2 hours. Talk to that network. I don't give a shit who you got to jack off. Fuck that shit. So I just, on a scale of 1 to 10, I gave the pay-per-view a 7. It just lost points to me because the main event was shit. And on top of the main event being shit, they shitted on it. I didn't care for the Bray Wyatt return as much as I thought I would. I just thought it was long. It was drawn out for too long. Of course, it was predictable. Who the fuck didn't think it was Bray Wyatt? I mean, let's be real here. You know what I'm saying? So, I was very I was satisfied with the pay per view. Had I paid for it, I would have felt that I did get my money's worth. Yes. What about you, Q?
I give it. I mean, if I call it a banger after banger after banger, at least I'm gonna give it a respectable score. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. So it did its thing. I said the fight pit was a little bit of a miss, but again, I wasn't a fan of the fight pit in NXT track. I didn't care for Timothy Thatcher fight pit matches with Riddle either. And
But
remember,
I liked them. I
no, no,
thought
no.
that shit was enjoyable because they
But
went
those
in.
fight
They
pit
went
matches
in
were
on each other.
But those fight pit matches, you need those MMA kind of fighters. Seth Rollins is an entertainer. It just doesn't work. And AEW did their fucking fight pit type of match too with Wardlow and Jake Hager. That sucked too. So wrestling should not do these type of matches. And Steve Blackman years ago when he did his fight pit match with Ken Shamrock, I
Oh
forget.
no. I think it was wasn't it Owen Hart and the Lions Den? No, that was Ken
It was
Shamrock versus
Alliance
Owen
that match.
Hart.
But you get where I'm
But
going with.
I love that Lions Den match. I thought that was awesome. I love that too. I thought that was great. I just did not enjoy this shit.
I'm consistent with my it's meh to me, so I'm just going with that. So 8.5 out of 10 for me. So I'm happy with it. And again, Triple H, career Renaissance winner. Congratulations, you're on top of your game right now.
But let's not leave out there was also a little minor show on Friday. You guys may not have heard about. From this company who like the Roach just will not go away. Impact Wrestling had Bound for Glory. Now, me and Q discussed this off camera about the build and the card itself and Impact's current champion right now. The card didn't feel special at all. It didn't feel like your typical Bound for Glory of years past or even recent years. You know, Bound for Glory felt special even last year. This year didn't have that special feel to it, especially because it was on a Friday. So it was like shit. Why couldn't it have been today? There's no wrestling shows on. You're not competing against anything. You could have had Bound for Glory on a Sunday, but you chose to have it on a Friday up against SmackDown. Now, out of respect, I did not watch SmackDown after the first couple minutes. I watched the opening segment, then I quickly switched to Bound for Glory. I saw an awesome match between Speedball Mike Bailey and Kazarian, which Kazarian won. A lot of people question that move because Speedball Mike Bailey was the younger talent. Maybe he should have got the win, but I didn't mind it too much. I mean, it's Kazarian, you know. He's still with AEW as far as I know, so maybe he makes an appearance on AEW with the X Division title and has a match with somebody. Who the fuck knows? But I didn't mind it too much. You had new tag team champions with Havoc and Taya Valkyrie. I don't know if Rosemary's injured or if she just took this role as the like a manager or whatever. But Rosemary wasn't wrestling.
She's always injured, track. I don't know. It seems
She
like
is injured a lot. She is injured a lot though. But
Mhm.
Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie Taya Valkyrie and Havoc, they won this tag match, and I watched it. I thought it was very entertaining.
because
I was shocked that they won.
the other chicks, their contracts are either up or they're not, or they're working on a handshake deal right now. Isn't that
Because I
correct?
know it's Perazzo, and what's her name?
Chelsea Green.
Yeah, Chelsea Green. If they're on a handshake shit, then damn, I wonder what's gonna happen. I don't know. Is Triple H gonna bring them back? I don't know. Personally, I thought Perazzo should have been in AEW a long time ago. But whatever. To me, she's been the staple of that women's division for a very long time. And
Mhm.
speaking of that women's division, Masha Slamovitch versus Jordynne Grace was a goddamn banger. Talk about bangers. That shit was a banger. Not only was that shit a banger, it was a match of the year candidate for me. I'm like, yo, if you didn't watch that match, go watch that match. And I'm not a big Jordynne Grace fan, and I really could give a fuck about Masha Slamovich. But I watched that match, and I watched these two chicks throw it the fuck down. Like they were going in on each other, Gunther versus Sheamus style. And I was like, holy shit. And not to mention, Jordan Grace, completely different. Looks completely different. She slimmed the fuck down. She's more cut up. She's more tight. Still ain't got no ass. Still kind of looks like a boy in the face. But she physically, she looked fantastic. And the match that they had was fucking fantastic. And like I like to say that, you know, Impact is this generation's ECW based off the standings or whatever. Not to try to compare it. I'm just saying by the standings. You got WWE,
My
WCW,
proxy, yes, you're
ECW.
right. I'll give you that.
Exactly. Exactly. You know,
Mhm.
people want to say it's GCW, but ugh, that shit is awful. No, it's not.
Never go.
GCW is the new XPW. That's what that shit is. But anyway, yeah, that match was just fucking fantastic. Now, one thing that happened that bothered the fuck out of me was the Call Your Shot Battle Royal. The surprise appearance was Bully Ray. Bully Ray wins the Call Your Shot Battle Royal. Why?
Yeah, why not? I mean, that's an alumnus, Aces and Eights alumnus. The hardcore 5150 alumnus. Again, I'm not going to defend it, but who else you got for Josh Alexander? I mean, again, your top five, and this is the thing, your top five in Impact Wrestling for Josh Alexander. There's not much of a tier of competition for Josh Alexander. You and I not an argument, but I told you that I like Josh Alexander. I know you call him like the best bout for bout kind of wrestler. Like his
Yeah.
matches are bangers, and I'm not denying that. But the guy has no charisma. You put Bully Ray against Josh Alexander, Bully Ray's gonna carry the promos to get me at least to watch this match.
No,
No,
you might be right on that.
and you're right. Did it feel special with Eddie Edwards? And I like Eddie Edwards. You and I like Eddie Edwards. And again, Eddie Edwards had to change his character a little bit, and he's done leaps and bounds. He's not Eddie Edwards from like 2010. Hell no.
Huh.
He has changed his character, but he still is Eddie Edwards. And you're right. It didn't feel special. So Bully Ray, whether he's 50 years old, can still talk me into maybe watching it on a Friday pay-per-view. Is he going to win it? No, hell no. Josh Alexander it's another notch in his belt, but this is where the weakness of Josh Alexander is. He can give you banger matches, but he just doesn't give you banger promos.
I felt that it should have went to Sami Callihan. I thought he could have fucking won that shit. I think that if he would have been in the feud with Josh Alexander, you still there, Q? Okay. I thought if he was in a feud with Josh Alexander and to take the title off Josh Alexander, that would be cool. Now, unless Bully Ray is going to put Josh Alexander over, or unless Bully Ray wins just to have a feud with Sami Callihan, and Sami Callihan takes the title off Bully Ray, I'll be cool with that. That I would love to see.
That's a
I would
different way to
love
look at it.
Yes, I would love to see a feud between Callihan and Bully Ray, with Callihan going over as champ. So if they were going to go that route, I'd be happy with it. I don't know what route they're going here, so I can't really be happy with that.
You seen those memes track with Scott D'Amore, worst Booker of the Year winner?
Oh shit! I have not seen those, but
Somebody
I would not give
is
him
so
worst book of the
mean.
year.
Yeah.
But even though I was not happy with that shit, I wouldn't give him that. I wouldn't give him that. That's not cool. But you had Josh Alexander versus Eddie Edwards. Josh Alexander goes over, and what was a pretty fucking awesome match. I knew these two were gonna fucking throw it the fuck down. So Bully Ray comes out at the end of the match and fights off Honor No More, because for a second when Honor No More came out, I thought they were gonna beat Eddie Edwards' ass. I thought Bully Ray was gonna take over and then take the title. If that would have happened, I think I would have been okay with that. As long as it was Sami Callihan going after Bully Ray. Had they gone that route, which they should have done that. It should have went that route. It should have been like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm taking over. I took the title. I got it. But now it's on some, show me what you got.
I don't know.
That's what it
I don't
seems
know.
like.
I've known you for many years, and I know if this happened Friday, if Bully Ray might have cashed it in and joined Honor No More, I think your 8-track reaction would have been more like, "Oh no, what the fuck? What is this bullshit? Fuck this company." You,
Only if I didn't have the presence of mind to think about Sammy Callahan coming to Impact's rescue. But I was having that in my head the whole time. So because I said to myself, I said if Eddie Edwards wins, because this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought Eddie Edwards was going to win, and we were going to return to the Eddie Edwards Sammy Callahan feud. But now Callahan's the face, and Eddie Edwards is the heel. And again, Callahan is the savior for Impact, beating Edwards and taking the title off of him. That's not what happened. So like I said, this whole feud now seems like a show me what you got kid type of feud. And who knows what's gonna happen? Does this help the product get more eyes on it? No. No. I mean, it gets talked about here and there, but of course not for the best reasons. But overall, when it came to my score of Bound for Glory, I gave it also a 7 because I really thought that women's match really fucking lit it up, and the main event was hot as fuck. I don't care if me and 20 other people are the only one watching Impact. I'm always gonna watch Impact. Fuck all that shit. Q saw some bits and pieces of it. So what were your thoughts on what you saw, Q?
I think the again the problem with Impact Wrestling for me, especially with this pay-per-view, is like the choices of winners. The way I rationalized it is like I could use Mickey James against Mia Yim.
Oh yeah, that,
Mia
that, that
Yim,
match was cool too. I forgot. Mickey
it was
James will not
cool,
retire.
right? Mickey James will not retire, but then I looked at Mia Yim and said, okay, maybe her contract's up. She won't resign.
Oh
She's
yeah, Mia
probably
Yim's, yeah,
she's
she's
probably
done.
going to AEW or something like that, or maybe she's coming back. Maybe the Triple H regime. Maybe she'll get her. She finally will get a chance to shine in WWE. So I looked at that match and said, okay, it was a good match, but again, the circumstances on that kind of made me feel a little bit flat. So everything here is like I see again, Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green, decent women's tag team champions. Don't get me wrong, but again, if they lose and they haven't re-signed, I understood I understood why they did what they did. Bully Ray, I understand why they did what they
But
did.
see,
It
the
was
crazy thing is about Peraza and Green. They just started that team. They just pretty much formed that team. But them losing the belts, I guess maybe they might be on their way out. Okay.
yeah, so we just don't know. So again, I can't get invested. So for that reason alone, and again, I have my little nitpicks with Josh Alexander. Again, a great match. I saw that match with Eddie Edwards. I thought it was a good match. But again, I look at Josh Alexander. It just feels incomplete to me, and he just is not a. Getting the belt and being humble is one thing, track, but then keeping the belt and still being humble, I just get okay. What else you got for me, Josh? That's the way I feel.
Now, you
And
know what? He probably would have been better off with a manager. He's not a bad talker, but he
mm,
is lacking in some aspects of charisma.
so
I wouldn't argue against you on that one.
yeah, so again, Bully Ray probably winning that call your shot again probably made people angry, but I was like, okay, I understand it. This is to me to get Josh over. Again, it's Bully Ray's going to carry this match to get me invested. He's going to carry it with the promos. Again, Bully Ray is almost 50 himself, so I ain't expecting a banger match, but I'm expecting Josh to carry the match. I'm just expecting Bully to do his job and carry the
Carry the
promos to get
feud.
me to the
Yeah,
match.
yeah,
So
you're
that's
right on
so
that.
I'll give it a nice 7 like you.
All right. So yo, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for joining us. Yo, Q, let them know where they can find you, brother.
But you can find me on the YouTubes when they track uploads the PWR podcast at the PWHustle Networks on the YouTubes. We did a pro wrestling spotlight hustle lights. I hope you all check it out, where we pay homage to the career renaissance winner Triple H and his group D Generation X on a special spotlight. And A-Track, I got a surprise for you. A future spotlight in the making. We're going to do the life and career and honor and celebrate the life of Antonio Inoki and NJPW founder, politician extraordinaire. We're doing a pro wrestling spotlight
Politician extraordinaire.
on Antonio Inoki. So look out for that, Hustleites, here on the PWSL Networks on the YouTubes.
Yo, and of course, you can find me here on this channel with the reactions that I'm going to be doing. Walking Dead, Andor, She-Hulk, so on and so forth. Getting back to those Beavis and Butthead reactions. Don't worry, that's coming soon. The Cobra Kai Season 5 review, the live review, that's coming soon on its way too. Don't worry about it. Follow me on Twitter at @ATrackBrown, the number 8, TRAC Brown. Hit the notification button. Donate to the channel if you want. Sign up to the PW Hustle Facebook group. And also, join in with me in making sure that Q and Tommy Wonder review and react to the Territory show on Vice, all right? These are our reflection nights right here. So they need to do this fucking show. So we got to make sure that they do that, all right? So let's get those votes in. Let's go. Let's get hot.